Alright, hey y'all, just a quick video here. I realize it's been a while and I don't think I've actually talked about very much being back on testosterone, but I started back on testosterone in January, and I think I did talk a little bit about it because I feel like I mentioned the tapering that I was doing. I was kind of tapering back on, but I can't remember if that was here or on TikTok, but now I don't do TikTok anymore, so I don't know if I ever talked about it, but I've been back on T now for 5 months, and I figured I would just talk about how I've been feeling. So, I've been feeling amazing, to be honest. I feel like myself again. I feel much more mentally level. I feel emotionally level. I feel good in my body again. And just like so much different than I did when I was off T, which, you know, I was really struggling the longer it had been. And so what I had done was, in order to kind of abate some of the negative effects of getting on T, like acne and irritability and stuff, she had said to kind of slowly on-ramp. So for January, I only did 0.25, February I did 0.3, March I did 0.35, and since April I've just been on 0.4 again. So I go back at the end of this month, at the very end of the month, to have a follow-up and just check my T levels and make sure everything is okay. But I have felt basically totally fine, no adverse effects. Like, I feel like my beard is coming in thicker again. I feel like my stomach hair is coming in thicker again. I guess I hadn't really noticed how much, like, my hair had been thinning out in those places. Like, I can look back and definitely tell, like, and I thought, like, when I was off T, I was like, I feel like my beard looks different, I feel like this looks different, and I thought maybe I was just, like, going crazy, but, you know, like, being hyper analytical. But to see that stuff, like, filling back in now, I'm like, oh, okay, so it was changing in ways that I didn't like, you know. And my fat redistribution, like, I can already see a change in the way that, like, my body looks more straight again instead of curvy. I've also lost like 34 pounds almost. So there's that as well. But I know a lot of it is the testosterone kind of redistributing the fat back out of my hips. So, but yeah, it's been kind of crazy, like, how quickly I felt better. Like, I mean, it was like instant. Like, in January, even on 0.25, my brain just felt like my brain again. And I don't know how to describe that any other way. Like, I really didn't feel like my brain was the same brain when I was not on T. Like, I just felt way more, like, anxious and overthinking and, like, emotional and all these things. And now I just feel like much more, I feel back to my baseline of what I know is just, like, me, you know, what feels good in my brain is the best way I can say it. Like, my cycle, I only had one more period after I started T, and it was at the end of January, and then it never came back after that. Or maybe it was at the end of February? No, I can't remember exactly. I know I only had one more cycle. I think it was. I had my cycle in January, because obviously I just got back on T, and then my cycle in February never came. That's right, because Tori and I haven't had our periods for the same amount of time, because she got pregnant at the end of February, or we found out we were pregnant, so we haven't had our periods all year, both of us, for different reasons, of course. But yeah, so that one went away pretty quick. I wasn't sure if it would go away quickly because I was obviously, like, tapering back on to T, so I thought maybe it would take a little bit extra time, but just like before, it pretty much went away right away. So that does, like, leave me with some questions of, like, oh, like, maybe, like, that is the reason why I couldn't get pregnant myself. And, like, I do have some questions about, like, you know, why didn't it work out for me? But, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with the way it's worked out right now. Like, I feel very good being, like, the dad in this way, and, like, just getting to support Tori as a good partner and stuff like that. So, like, I know it's all happened the way it's meant to happen, but it definitely, like, leaves me with some questions about kind of why. But yeah, anyway, back on T and feeling great, and now I'm home, so I'm gonna shut up. But hope y'all having a good week. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.